Good morning YouTube. It's a dull, miserable day, so I thought I'd do some updates, starting with the terrarium. Now this has been in here since the end of Feb, 26th of Feb I think I built this. So what's that, nearly three weeks, just over. So it's doing exceptionally well. The Phalaenopsis is doing well. I managed to bend the branches down so you can see them better. The little plants are growing. That's got some new growth on it. I put this little baby's tears in the front, but I see the rock orchid is growing into it, but I put that in before the rock orchid grows, so that's obviously happy, growing. And also the two ferns are looking happy and healthy, along with the moss. How I water it, I just use this little pot of water, which is room temperature. And I've got a little syringe and I just point the water at whatever plants I want to water. I don't, chuck a load of water in there. I only water it very little. It should actually look after itself relatively well, but it's not completely sealed. It's we got a new bulb as well. So I don't want to blind you, but there's the new bulb. It's one of those piggy tail ones, as I call it. So it's not going to get hot. Plants aren't going to cook. But it highlights them better. And I've still got to get round to painting the back black or putting some black card at the back. So yeah, so I'm really pleased with that. I think that's doing well. I think it's looking nice. And yeah, so we're going to have a look at something else now. So here we are. This is the Phalaenopsis that I put into water culture. And I think this has been in since... Actually, I think this one's the 28th of February and the terrarium was before that, but it's been in a little while. And as you can see, it's doing well. The roots are green. There is a little bit of algae growth in there, but, you've got to expect that. It's in the light here, and it gets a lot of light, so you will get that. Light causes algae to grow. It certainly does in the pond anyway. But the roots are looking good. They're all looking reasonably happy. There's none rotten ones that I can see. All I've done to this water is actually topped it up. I haven't changed it at all since it went in there. So it's relatively clear, apart from that little algae. If I hold the thing, the camera down there, you can see the water is reasonably clear. It's just that growth on the bottom, and you get that. I'm not too worried about that. The other ones are all doing reasonably well. That one's looking great. That one at the back's going over now. This one's still good. This one's still good. And likewise, the yellow one's still good on that side. But you can see how many blooms that one had all the way along the stem to the end. The other stem's dying back a bit, but it does have one little, get that to focus, one little bud on the end there, yet to develop. That may well not develop, that may well die back. These are all doing well, the minis, or I call that a semi-mini, because he's not really that small. Likewise the one in the back. But these are my minis. This is a lovely white creamy one, and this yellow one. This one's starting to develop more buds on the end, so that's quite nice. And all the phals that haven't got any blooms on them, they've all come on really well. We've got new leaves on that one. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I've just noticed this, that's a spike. Whoops, there. So that's exciting. I only just noticed that, so that'll be interesting to see what comes out of there. The one in the back, it's got a nice new leaf as well, there. So they're doing well. And I have put, rightly or wrongly, I've put some fertiliser in these jars. I literally put such a small amount, it's very insignificant. I use this, I can get it, this little pipette here. Get it on camera. There. And I squeeze up some fertiliser and I literally put one drop in each of these jars, just one drip, just to see what would happen. And I can say I did that last week and they look all right. The roots look alright. I don't know how quickly root burn develops. Hopefully not at all. But they all seem to be okay. And all the little babies I bought are doing well. They are in sphagnum moss and bark. Unfortunately, it is the bark that broke down, not the Orchiata bark. But I will repot them in Orchiata bark in the spring. So those 6 are doing well. They're all looking really good. Got some new leaves coming on some of them. So that's great. Those 2 were ones that were in water culture that weren't happy. So I've put them back into bark. And they seem to be doing much better. This one's got some lovely green tips on the roots. So that's doing better. And that one's got a nice new leaf coming. This little baby here was an extra one that came with the little ones. There were 2 plants in one pot. So I've just put that one in this little separate pot. And that one's just in moss. I thought I'd see how it goes just in moss. I haven't done very much at so far. What else is new? All these are doing great. All the other Phalaenopsis, like I said. These little terrariums are doing okay. They're, if you can see, I haven't killed the air plant, which is good. The moss that was at the front of these has died back, which is to be expected really. We've had some really hot temperatures lately. But if you look, get closer, the moss has stayed green in the back, which is, obviously it's getting a better humidity level back there. But that's not a problem. We grow the moss. I can just replace a bit of moss in the front if I want to. But that moss did last quite a while. I think I planted these, last November, maybe December sometime. So they're doing all right. That one's got a nice new rosette come. These have put lots of little beads on. And I just break them off if they get too long and pop them in beside. A couple orchid meetings ago, I bought a big Streptocarpus plant, and it was huge. So I took it all apart, broke it all down to individual crowns, and I think I've got 7, 8 crowns there. So they are doing exceptionally well. So I'm quite pleased with that. They need to be potted on soon, and I'll get round to doing that probably next week. So here we are out in the orchid house. I still call it the shade house though, but I should be calling it the orchid house. So let's go in and have a look at changes in here. First change is my husband's mounted a fan for me, bless him. So that's great. He's mounted it up in the ceiling, and that's going to give some air to the plants, which is great. He also put up this rack, if you can see. I'm sorry about the backlight. Put up this racking so I can hang my mounts on it. And the other changes, we did get our bulbs through, and they were those big piggy tail long life ones, but they were 150 watts. And when I stopped and thought about it, I thought, oh, hang on a minute here. It's not like I'm in a dark room and there's no light at all. These orchids do get, morning sun. But I just want to sort of back up their light really. So I decided that these little fluorescents was the best way to go. I looked up on YouTube, I researched it quite a bit, and fluorescents seemed to be the best option for us anyway. So I've got 3, I think they're about 2 foot long, these lights, and we've mounted the 3 of them along there. And I'm going to mount a 5 foot one up above. There's one on our local auction site that's for sale, a double one, so I'm hoping to win that and get that mounted. The clay pot heaters are there, they're all set ready to go, and we've got a new orchid. Look at that bad boy there. Isn't that gorgeous? Come on, focus, focus, focus. That's the best it's going to do. Let's see if I can focus on that one down there. There was 2 of these. It came as a pair. Oh, there you go. Ain't that just gorgeous? The contrast of colours is super, and I do like the spotted on the lip on that one. As you can see, there's a few more buds to come, and there's a few more buds on that one, but that bud is facing the wrong way, so that's obviously how it's set, you know, when it came out in the nursery. Mr. Spike's getting bigger. I think that's grown, oh, I'm going to be exaggerating and say about an inch since I last filmed it, so that's good. See, that spike's facing the wrong way as well, but that's got a bud on the end. But yeah, so lovely. So excited about that. This little girl's still doing well. She's still flowering. She's fading. She is fading, but she's still smelling nice, so that's good. And the Sologeny Krista is looking okay. Likewise, I put this little one on a mount. Let's get it down. This backlight's not good. Get it down so you can see it. I don't know if I filmed this one on the mount or no, but there he is, looking good, healthy, brilliant. And what was the other one? Oh yeah, that Dendrobium up there. And that one's alright. I had to put a stone in to sort of stabilise it a little bit. So the Graton was that? Graton Monarch. So, but everything else is looking good, looking healthy. I watered more yesterday. These polystyrene sheets my husband gave me, he said they might be a good thing to use in the winter. So the pots, because you know they're in terracotta pots, so terracotta gets cold. So I'm going to put them, I don't know if it'll help, but you know, I've got them, I might as well use them. So I'm going to put the pots on those. Like I say, I've got the heaters. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I'm worried that they're going to get cold. You see it's only 13 in here today, and it's a dull day. I'm not too worried about the dull days. It's the sunny days during the day and the cold evenings, cold nights. And I'm really hoping, well, I reckon some clever clogs out there should be able to develop a solar energy, we say saver, and then it releases its energy, its heat throughout the night. They'd make a fortune, because that's what I'd like to get. Electricity's expensive here, and I don't really want to resort to putting fan heaters and that on. I want to try and just get by, hopefully, with the clay pot heaters. And yeah, so we'll have to see. Anyway, I think this video's long enough now. So any more updates, I'll let you know. One last little look at this little girl, or boy. And that's all for now, and I'll catch up with you later. Thanks for watching.